The last day of the year arrived with cold wind and quiet streets. For most people, New Year's Eve was full of lights, music, and hope. For Maya, it was only another long night of waiting. She was a widow and lived in a small house near the edge of the city. Her husband had passed away years ago, and since then, her whole world had been her twin children, Leo and Noah. Maya was a simple woman with a gentle heart. She worked hard every day to give her children a safe and loving life. The twins were 8 years old, full of energy, laughter, and endless questions. They loved exploring, but Maya always reminded them to stay close to home. The city could be confusing, especially during winter. That morning, the twins had been very excited. They talked about the new year, about wishes, and about how they wanted to see fireworks at night. Maya smiled and promised they would watch them together from their window. Before noon, Leo and Noah asked if they could go outside to play for a short while. Maya agreed, reminding them to return before the sky grew dark. Hours passed faster than Maya expected. She cleaned the house, prepared a simple meal, and checked the clock again and again. When the sun began to fade, worry slowly entered her heart. The twins had not returned yet. Maya stepped outside and looked down the street. There was no sign of them. She called their names, her voice calm at first. Leo. Noah. Only the wind replied. Maya walked a little farther, checking nearby houses and small shops. Some neighbors said they had seen the twins playing earlier, but no one knew where they had gone after that. Her heart began to race. As darkness spread, the city changed. Lights turned on, people laughed, and music drifted through the air. For Maya, every sound felt distant and unreal. Fear wrapped around her thoughts. She imagined the twins lost, cold, and scared. She blamed herself for letting them go out alone. Maya returned home quickly to grab her coat and scarf. She could not sit and wait. She had to find them. Before leaving, she whispered a small prayer, asking for strength and guidance. Then she stepped back into the cold night. She walked through familiar streets first, places the twins loved. The small park with broken swings. The narrow lane where stray cats rested. The corner shop where they often bought candy. Maya asked everyone she met, showing worry on her tired face. Some shook their heads, others offered kind words, but no answers. The cold grew sharper as time passed. Snowflakes began to fall softly, covering the ground like a thin white blanket. Maya's hands trembled, but she kept walking. Every child she saw made her heart jump, only to sink again when she realized they were not her sons. As she walked, memories filled her mind. She remembered the day the twins were born, how she held them close and promised to protect them. She remembered how they used to wait by the door for her to come home from work. Those memories gave her strength, but they also made her fear deeper. She reached the edge of the city where old buildings stood quietly. This area was rarely busy, especially at night. Maya hesitated for a moment, then continued. Something inside her told her not to turn back. She noticed small footprints in the snow, 2 sets walking side by side. Her breath caught. They looked like children's footprints. Maya followed them carefully. The path led toward the old park near the river. This park had been closed for years, but people still passed through it sometimes. The lights were dim, and the trees stood tall and silent. Maya's heart beat loudly in her ears as she stepped inside. The park felt colder than the rest of the city. The wind moved through the trees, creating soft sounds that made Maya nervous. She called out again, louder this time. Leo. Noah. Her voice trembled, but she did not stop. As she walked deeper, she noticed something unusual. A warm yellow light glowed near one of the old benches. It stood out against the dark surroundings. Maya slowed her steps, unsure of what she would find. Her fear mixed with hope. She moved closer and saw a small lantern placed beside the bench. Near it sat an elderly woman wrapped in a thick, worn coat. The woman held a small bag and seemed to be talking softly. Maya could not hear the words yet, but she felt her heart skip. Then she saw them. Leo and Noah were sitting beside the elderly woman. They held small cups in their hands and were eating something warm. Their faces looked calm, not frightened. Their cheeks were red from the cold, but their eyes were bright. For a moment, Maya could not move. Relief washed over her so strongly that her legs felt weak. Tears filled her eyes as she watched her children safe and warm. All the fear she had carried began to melt away. She stepped forward slowly, not wanting to scare anyone. The twins noticed her first. Their faces lit up, and they jumped to their feet. "Mama!" Their voices echoed through the quiet park. Maya rushed forward and hugged them tightly, holding them as if she would never let go. She felt their warmth, their steady breathing, and she finally allowed herself to cry. The elderly woman watched with a gentle smile, her eyes kind and tired. She stood up slowly, holding her lantern. Maya looked at her, gratitude filling her heart, though she did not yet have the words to speak. The New Year's Eve night continued around them, but in that quiet park, something important had already happened. A moment of fear had turned into a moment of hope, and Maya knew that this night would change her life forever. Maya held Leo and Noah close for a long moment. The cold night, the fear, and the heavy worry slowly left her body. She felt their small arms around her neck, and knew they were safe. That was all that mattered. When she finally pulled back, she looked at their faces again, checking every detail as if she needed to be sure they were real. The elderly woman stood nearby, holding the lantern steady. Her hair was white, tied neatly under a wool scarf. Her face showed lines of age, but her eyes were warm and calm. She looked at Maya with quiet kindness, as if she understood everything without many words. Maya took a deep breath and spoke gently. She thanked the woman again and again. Her voice shook, not from cold, but from emotion. She asked how the woman had found the twins. The woman explained in a soft voice that she had been walking through the park to rest. She often came there in the evening because it was quiet. She saw the twins near the path, confused and cold. They were trying to find their way home but did not know which direction to take. The woman said she could not leave them alone, especially on such a cold night. Leo and Noah listened quietly as the woman spoke. Leo said they had followed the sound of music from far away and then realized they were lost. Noah added that they tried to remember the road home but everything looked different once it became dark. They had been scared, but the woman had spoken kindly and shared food from her bag. Maya felt a mix of relief and guilt. She stroked her son's hair and told them gently that they should never wander far without telling her. The twins nodded, their faces serious. They understood how worried their mother had been. The wind blew harder, and Maya noticed the woman's thin coat. She asked if the woman had somewhere warm to go. The woman hesitated before answering. She said she stayed in a small room nearby and did not have much, but she was used to the cold. Maya looked at her children, then back at the woman. Without thinking too much, she invited the woman to come home with them. She said they had warm soup, tea, and a safe place to rest. The woman looked surprised at first. She had not expected such an offer. After a short pause, the woman nodded slowly. She thanked Maya with a gentle smile. Together, they began to walk out of the park. Maya held each twin by the hand, feeling grateful with every step. The streets were brighter now. Decorations glowed in windows, and people moved quickly, laughing and talking as they prepared to welcome the new year. Maya noticed how different the world felt when fear was gone. The same lights that once felt distant now felt comforting. As they walked, the woman shared small pieces of her life. She said her name was Rena. She had lived in the city for many years. She once had a family, but time had taken them away one by one. She did not speak with sadness, only quiet acceptance. Maya listened closely, feeling a connection grow. Leo asked Rena if she liked the new year. Rena smiled and said she liked the idea of new beginnings, even if life had been difficult. Noah asked if she would make a wish at midnight. Rena laughed softly and said she already felt lucky that night. When they reached Maya's home, warmth greeted them as soon as the door opened. Maya helped the twins take off their coats and scarves. She offered Rena a chair near the heater and poured her a cup of hot tea. Rena wrapped her hands around the cup, clearly grateful. The twins sat at the table, quietly eating the rest of their meal. They looked tired but peaceful. Maya watched them carefully, still unable to fully let go of her worry. She thanked Rena again, her voice full of respect and gratitude. Rena waved her hand gently and said she only did what anyone should do. She said children were precious and deserved care and safety. Her words were simple, but they touched Maya deeply. As the evening moved closer to midnight, Maya noticed how calm the house felt. There was no music playing, no loud celebration, yet it felt full. The presence of Rena had changed something. The house no longer felt lonely. Maya prepared an extra bowl of soup and placed it in front of Rena. Rena ate slowly, as if savoring each bite. She spoke about the park, about how she liked to watch people from a distance and imagine their stories. She said seeing the twins reminded her of happier days. Outside, the sound of fireworks began to rise. Colors flashed through the window, lighting up the room for brief moments. Leo and Noah rushed to the window, pointing and smiling. Maya joined them, placing her hands on their shoulders. Rena stood behind them, watching quietly. The lights reflected in her eyes, and for a moment, she looked younger. Maya turned to her and said she was welcome to stay as long as she wished. Rena nodded, clearly touched by the offer. As midnight approached, Maya felt something new inside her. The pain of the past was still there, but it no longer felt as heavy. That night had brought fear, but it had also brought kindness from an unexpected place. When the clock struck midnight, fireworks filled the sky. Maya closed her eyes and made a silent wish. She wished for safety, for warmth, and for kindness to continue finding its way into her life. In that small house, with her children safe beside her and a stranger who now felt like a friend, Maya welcomed the new year with a heart that felt stronger than it had in a long time. The morning after New Year's Eve arrived quietly. Soft light entered Maya's small house, touching the walls and warming the room. Maya woke early, as she always did. For a moment, she forgot everything that had happened the night before. Then she heard gentle breathing nearby and remembered. Her children were safe. There was someone else in the house. Maya stepped out of her room and looked toward the living area. Rena was sleeping on the sofa, wrapped in a blanket. Her face looked peaceful, her hands folded calmly. Maya felt a deep sense of respect and care for the elderly woman. She moved quietly so she would not wake her, and went to the kitchen. Maya prepared a simple breakfast. Warm bread, tea, and a little fruit. The smell slowly filled the house. Soon, Leo and Noah came out of their room, rubbing their eyes. They smiled when they saw their mother. Maya smiled back and hugged them both. She reminded them gently that they would talk more about what happened later. As they sat at the table, Rena woke up. She looked around slowly, a little unsure at first. Then she smiled when she saw Maya and the twins. Maya greeted her warmly and asked how she had slept. Rena said she slept well and thanked her again for the shelter. They ate together in quiet comfort. The twins talked about the fireworks and how bright the sky had been. Rena listened closely, nodding and smiling at their excitement. Maya noticed how calm the children seemed. There was no fear left in their voices. After breakfast, Maya asked Rena about her life. She did not want to ask too many questions, but she felt it was right to understand the woman who had helped her children. Rena spoke slowly, choosing her words carefully. She said she had lived in the city for most of her life. She once worked simple jobs and lived in a small home with her family. Over time, life changed. People moved away, some passed on, and the world became quieter for her. She never spoke with anger or sadness, only honesty. Maya listened closely. She felt respect grow stronger inside her. Rena did not complain or ask for anything. She carried her life with quiet strength. Maya admired that. Later in the morning, Maya asked the twins to help clean the house. She wanted them to feel responsible again. Leo swept the floor while Noah wiped the table. Rena watched them with gentle eyes and even helped fold a blanket. It felt natural, as if she had always been there. When the house was clean, Maya spoke to the twins seriously. She explained how worried she had been when they were missing. She did not raise her voice. She spoke calmly, with love. Leo and Noah listened carefully. They said they were sorry and promised to be more careful. Maya hugged them again, feeling proud of their honesty. As the day moved on, Maya noticed Rena looking out the window often. She asked if Rena was thinking of leaving. Rena nodded slowly and said she did not want to trouble them. Maya felt a sudden tight feeling in her chest. Maya told Rena she was not a trouble. She said the house felt warmer with her presence. She offered Rena to stay longer, at least until the weather became better. Rena looked surprised. Her eyes filled with emotion, but she remained calm. She thanked Maya softly and said she would stay for a little while. That afternoon, Maya and Rena went for a short walk while the twins played inside. The air was cold but clear. They walked slowly, side by side. Maya shared her own story. She spoke about her husband, about losing him, and about raising the twins alone. Her voice stayed steady, but her heart felt lighter as she spoke. Rena listened without interrupting. When Maya finished, Rena placed a gentle hand on her arm. She said Maya was strong and kind, and that the twins were lucky to have her. Those words stayed with Maya. When they returned home, Leo and Noah ran to them. They asked if Rena would tell them a story. Rena smiled and sat with them. She told them a simple story about kindness and helping others. The twins listened closely, their eyes wide with interest. As evening came, Maya prepared dinner. It was simple, but they ate together happily. Laughter filled the room, something Maya had not felt in a long time. The house no longer felt empty or quiet. That night, as the twins slept, Maya sat with Rena near the window. The city lights glowed softly outside. Maya thanked Rena again, not just for finding the twins, but for bringing peace into her home. Rena said sometimes people meet for a reason, even if they do not understand it at first. Maya thought about those words long after Rena went to rest. She realized that this meeting was not just about being saved from fear. It was about connection, kindness, and finding family in unexpected ways. As Maya turned off the lights and prepared to sleep, she felt hopeful. The future was still uncertain, but she no longer felt alone. Something new had begun, and she knew it would change all of their lives in ways they could not yet see. Days passed slowly after the new year, and life inside Maya's home began to change in gentle ways. Rena stayed with them, just as Maya had offered. At first, everyone felt a little unsure, like they were learning a new rhythm. But soon, small habits formed, and the house felt fuller than it had in years. Every morning, Maya woke early to prepare breakfast before work. Rena would already be awake, sitting near the window, watching the street. She liked the quiet of early hours. Sometimes she helped Maya by warming bread or making tea. They worked together without many words, yet they understood each other well. Leo and Noah grew fond of Rena quickly. After school, they rushed home to tell her about their day. They talked about lessons, games, and friends. Rena listened with care, asking simple questions that made the boys feel important. She praised their efforts and reminded them to be kind and patient. Maya noticed how the twins behaved better with Rena around. They argued less and helped more. They even began to read books with her in the evening. Rena taught them simple things she knew, like how to fold clothes neatly or how to care for small plants near the window. One afternoon, Maya returned home tired from work. The cold wind had been strong all day, and her body ached. As she opened the door, she smelled warm soup. The twins ran to greet her, smiling. Rena had prepared the meal while they finished homework. Maya felt a deep sense of gratitude. That night, after dinner, Maya sat quietly, watching Rena and the twins laugh together. A thought stayed in her mind. She wondered how long Rena had been living alone and how many nights she had spent without warmth or company. The thought made Maya uneasy. Later, when the twins were asleep, Maya spoke to Rena gently. She asked about her future plans. Rena answered honestly. She said she had no clear plans. She lived day by day, resting where she could, helping when needed. Her voice was calm, but Maya could hear the tiredness behind it. Maya felt her heart tighten. She told Rena that she wanted her to stay, not just for a short time. She said the house needed her, and so did the twins. Rena looked at Maya in surprise. She did not speak for a long moment. Rena finally said she did not want to be a burden. Maya shook her head firmly. She said family was not only about blood. It was about care and trust. She reminded Rena how she had saved the twins without hesitation. That kindness mattered. Tears filled Rena's eyes, but she did not cry. She nodded slowly and thanked Maya. That night, both women felt a quiet promise settle between them. As weeks passed, the city returned to its normal pace. Decorations were taken down, and people focused on daily life. For Maya's family, something new was growing. Rena began helping more around the house. She cooked simple meals, fixed small things, and waited for the twins after school. One evening, Leo came home looking upset. He had been teased at school. Rena sat beside him and listened. She told him that words could hurt, but they did not decide his worth. Her calm voice comforted him. Maya watched from the doorway, feeling grateful. Another day, Noah fell sick with a fever. Maya had to work and felt worried. Rena stayed by Noah's side, giving him water and checking his temperature. When Maya returned home, she found Noah sleeping peacefully. Her worry eased, and she realized how much she trusted Rena. Despite the warmth inside the house, challenges still existed. Money was tight, and Maya worried about expenses. She sometimes stayed awake at night, thinking. Rena noticed this and offered to help in any way she could. She said she could do small work nearby or help neighbors. Soon, word spread in the area about Rena. Some neighbors asked her to help with simple tasks. Rena earned a little money and felt useful again. Maya saw her confidence grow. Rena no longer felt invisible. One afternoon, Maya received news that worried her. The school planned a trip, and it required extra money. Maya felt stressed but did not show it in front of the twins. That evening, Rena quietly placed some money on the table. She said it was from her work and wanted to help. Maya tried to refuse, but Rena insisted. She said this home had given her dignity and care. Helping was her way of giving back. Maya accepted with emotion, promising to return it someday. That night, the family ate together, laughing and sharing stories. The house felt alive. Maya realized that strength could come from unexpected places. She had once believed she had to face everything alone. Now she knew that support could arrive when least expected. As winter slowly began to fade, Maya stood at the window one morning, watching sunlight touch the street. Rena stood beside her, holding a cup of tea. Neither spoke, but both understood how far they had come. The missing twins had led Maya to something greater than fear. They had led her to connection, trust, and a new kind of family. And deep inside, Maya felt that one more chapter was still waiting to unfold. Spring arrived slowly, bringing softer air and brighter mornings. The cold days that once filled Maya with worry now felt far away. Inside the small house, life had settled into a peaceful routine. The fear of losing the twins had turned into a lesson that stayed with everyone. Maya woke early one morning and stood by the window. Birds rested on wires outside, and sunlight filled the room. She felt calm. Her heart, once heavy with loneliness, now felt steady and strong. She looked around the house and saw signs of care everywhere. Clean floors, folded blankets, and small plants growing near the window. Rena was already awake, helping Noah with reading at the table. Leo sat nearby, drawing carefully. The twins looked happy and confident. Maya smiled as she watched them. She knew that Rena had played a big part in their growth. The children listened to her, respected her, and learned patience from her gentle ways. Later that day, Maya received news from her workplace. She had been offered extra hours and better pay. It was not a big change, but it was enough to bring relief. Maya shared the news at dinner. The twins clapped happily. Rena smiled with pride. That evening, Maya thought deeply about the future. She realized that Rena was no longer just a guest. She had become family. The house no longer felt like a place of survival, but a place of warmth and shared purpose. A few days later, Maya spoke to Rena with care. She asked if Rena would like to stay permanently, not as a helper, but as part of the family. Rena listened quietly. Her hands trembled slightly as she held her cup. She took time before answering. Rena said she had spent many years believing she had no place in the world. She had accepted silence and distance. She never expected to find belonging again. She looked at Maya and the twins and said she felt needed for the first time in many years. Rena agreed to stay. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed emotion. Maya felt tears rise but smiled instead. The decision felt right. Life moved forward with small joys and shared responsibilities. The twins continued school, doing better with each passing month. Maya worked hard, but she no longer felt tired in the same way. Rena took care of the home and helped neighbors, earning respect in the community. One afternoon, Maya met a neighbor who mentioned the night the twins went missing. The story had spread through the area. People spoke of kindness and courage. Maya listened quietly, thinking about how one moment had changed everything. That night, Maya sat alone for a while after the twins went to bed. She thought about the past, about the fear she once carried, about the pain of loss. She realized that pain had not disappeared, but it no longer controlled her life. It had shaped her strength. Rena joined her quietly and sat nearby. They spoke about simple things, about the twins, about the coming months. Maya thanked Rena again, not just for that night in the park, but for every day since then. Rena replied that life had given her another chance through that family. She said kindness had a way of returning when least expected. As summer approached, the house filled with light and laughter. The twins planned small games, and Rena watched with joy. Maya felt proud of the life they had built together. On the anniversary of New Year's Eve, Maya stood at the same window where she once waited in fear. Fireworks filled the sky again. This time, she felt peace. She held the twins close. Rena stood beside them. They watched the lights together, knowing that even in the darkest moments, hope could appear in the most unexpected ways. The story of a lost moment had become a story of found family. And in that small house, love had quietly won.